They say earning your first $20,000 is the hardest part, and yeah, it's tough. But what nobody tells you is that what happens after you hit that milestone changes everything even more. It's not just about the money in your bank account. It's about the person you become. Your entire mindset, your daily habits, your social circle. Even your relationship with yourself starts to transform in ways you never expected. So let us talk about the real changes that happen after you've made your first significant amount of money. Because crossing that $20,000 line is just the beginning of a much bigger journey. The very first thing that hits you, and I mean really hits you, is the realization that your time is infinitely more valuable than your money. Before, you might have spent hours scrolling, binge-watching shows, or hanging out with people who didn't really add anything to your life. But once you've put in the work to earn that $20,000, you see every wasted hour as a missed opportunity. You start guarding your time like a fortress. You'll learn to say no without guilt. No to pointless meetings, no to social gatherings that drain your energy, and no to people who only take without giving. You become ruthless with your schedule, not because you're a machine, but because you finally understand that your energy is your most precious asset. Start focusing on tasks that deliver long-term results instead of chasing short-term comforts. That hour spent learning a new skill suddenly feels more valuable than an hour of mindless entertainment because you know it's an investment in your future. Next, your entire perspective on risk and investing flips upside down. Before you had $20,000, the idea of investing probably felt terrifying. Putting your hard-earned money into the stock market or a business idea seemed like a gamble you couldn't afford to lose. But after you've crossed that threshold, something clicks. You realize that the biggest risk isn't investing your money. It's not investing it. Leaving your money sitting in a bank account where it's slowly being eaten away by inflation suddenly feels like the riskiest move of all. You start to see money not as something to hoard and protect, but as a tool, a powerful tool that can be used to build more. You eagerly put money into learning new skills, buying better equipment, testing business ideas, and seizing opportunities you would have ignored before. Your confidence skyrockets because you've proven to yourself that you can earn money. And now you're learning that you can make that money work for you, multiplying itself over time. This brings me to a huge mental shift. You stop believing in magic and start believing in math. Before, you might have secretly hoped for a lucky break, an overnight success story, or some magical formula to solve all your problems. But when you earn your first serious money through your own effort, you see the truth. Life isn't a lottery. It's an equation. Effort plus discipline plus time equals results. It's that simple and that difficult. Stop chasing shortcuts and get-rich-quick schemes because you know they don't work. Instead, you become incredibly disciplined, focused, and practical. You build systems, and you show up every single day even when you don't feel like it. You understand that consistency is the real secret sauce. Success isn't about one brilliant move. It's about thousands of small, disciplined actions stacked on top of each other. This realization is incredibly empowering because it puts you in the driver's seat. Your success is no longer up to chance. Now let us talk about something that can be a little tough to navigate, how money changes your social circle. This is a big one when you start making progress. Some might subtly, or not so subtly, expect handouts or favors. Others might become jealous or resentful, making passive-aggressive comments about your success. And sadly, some people will just quietly disappear from your life because your growth makes them uncomfortable with their own lack of progress. It can be painful, but it's also a natural filtering process, because as you connections fade, a new circle begins to form around you. You'll find yourself connecting with people who are on a similar wavelength. People who talk about goals, systems, business plans, and personal growth. Your conversations shift from complaining about problems to brainstorming solutions. Your environment becomes more inspiring, more productive, and more mature. You start surrounding yourself with people who push you to be better, and you realize the old saying is true. Your network really is your net worth, not just financially, but in terms of your overall well-being and ambition. As your circle changes, your standards for everything else in your life begin to rise too. You just stop accepting cheap. I don't just mean cheap products. I mean cheap friendships, cheap habits, and cheap opportunities. You develop a taste for quality over quantity in all areas. You'd rather have a few deep, supportive friendships than 100 superficial acquaintances. You start choosing peace over drama, actively avoiding situations and people that bring negativity into your life. You stop seeking validation from others because your own progress becomes your primary source of fulfillment. Your goals get bigger, your vision gets clearer, and your ambition gets louder. You're no longer satisfied with just getting by. You start aiming for excellence in your work, your health, and your relationships. You raise the bar for yourself, and as a result, the universe seems to meet you at that higher level. But here is one of the most important lessons that money will teach you. Money fixes money problems, but it doesn't fix you. If you were an unfocused, insecure, or undisciplined person before you had money, having more money will only amplify those traits. It's like a magnifying glass for your flaws. If you have poor spending habits, more money just means you'll get into bigger debt. If you're insecure, you'll just find more expensive ways to seek validation. This is a humbling realization for many. You quickly understand that financial growth and personal growth have to happen in parallel. So, you start working on yourself just as seriously as you work on your finances. You start reading books on psychology. You realize that true wealth isn't just about a big bank account. It's about becoming a well-rounded, resilient, and centered individual who can handle success without losing themselves. The inner work becomes just as important. Finally, after crossing that $20,000 mark, your planning horizon shifts from next week or next month to the next 5, 10, or even 20 years. You start thinking in terms of systems, leverage, and freedom. The goal is no longer just about earning an active income. It's about building streams of passive income. You become obsessed with the idea of making your money work for you even when you're sleeping. You explore real estate, dividend stocks. You realize that financial stability isn't the finish line, it's just the starting point. The real goal is financial freedom. The freedom to choose how you spend your days, who you spend them with, and what you work on. It's the freedom to live life on your own terms, not the terms dictated by a job or a boss. This long-term vision fuels your daily actions and gives you the motivation to keep pushing forward, even on the hard days. So yes, hitting that first $20,000 is a massive achievement, but the real transformation happens in the aftermath. It changes how you value your time, how you view risk, and how you approach success. It reshapes your social circle, raises your standards, and forces you to work on your inner self. It expands your vision from mere survival to building a life of true freedom. You learn a powerful truth. You're not just earning money, you're becoming the person who can handle more, achieve more, and create more. Building the foundation not just for a wealthier life, but for a richer one in every sense of the word. Thanks so much for watching. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on building a better life. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.